Hey guys, Booligan here with Booligan Airsoft and Airsoft Insider. Today taking a look at everybody's favorite heretical Mosin Nagant Trogdor, the Burninator, as indicated on its lovely custom leather patch. We're not really looking at the gun itself. Today we're looking at its new optic setup. This is the Primary Arms 30mm Advanced Red Dot. This is obviously very similar to a very expensive, design-wise very expensive red dot sight, but is still priced at a point that makes it viable both for real steel shooters, real firearm shooters on a budget, as well as airsoft players, which is why I've been speaking with them to try to find out which of their optics might be good options for airsofters. This guy came across the desk, and thus far I am very impressed with this thing. First things first, it is a 30mm tube, so you need 30mm mounts. Does not include a mount, but it is powered by two, I believe they're half-in size batteries. I'll double check that in just a second. And is currently priced at about $129.99, so $130, which puts it obviously more expensive than most, purely replica style red dot sights, but so far the quality of this thing, especially compared to models that are very similar to this, it's just night and day difference. Let's take it off the rifle so that we can take a little bit closer look at it as well as its features. So has a very similar footprint and very similar design to some other optics that are out there, but it doesn't profess to be a direct clone or anything like that. It does come with flip-up lens caps front and rear, but I don't have the rear lens cap in use just for how I have it set up on the gun. It comes with a nice little rubber keeper here for your windage and elevation adjustment caps, as well as your battery cap. These guys have a lot of threading on it. You can see nice, simple, flathead, adjustable, marked, and they do have very positive clicks with each setting. Put that guy back on. As I mentioned before, these are night vision compatible, which means that they have 3 different dots at its lowest setting that are so low that you can barely even see them with the naked eye. The whole idea behind them is that they really should only be used with night vision. So how this dial works is you've got a 0 on each end and it locks. So if you turn it in any direction 100%, it will eventually turn off. Your first 3 settings are the night vision, and then it gets brighter and brighter and brighter until it turns off again. So if you're going to be using this primarily outdoors, that's probably what you're going to want to do. Keep it there so that you just click it over to 10 and then back to 0. To get an idea of the dot, we have the lens cap down, so that's at its brightest. Let's turn that down a little bit. It is a 2 MOA dot, and it is parallax free. See, the dot will stay on target regardless of where you point it. Now, it's not anything too fancy. We'll switch that onto its brightest mode so you can kind of get an idea. I can get in the picture. It's always tricky, always a tricky part. There you go. It's not focusing too well, obviously, because the camera doesn't like this, but you can have an idea. It's just simple, no drop reticles, nothing too crazy there. It's just a red dot sight. These are nitrogen purged. You've got a nice little access port there. Don't take that sticker off. The weight, good on it. Doesn't add a heck of a lot of weight to your gun. It's the same size of a comparable brand A red dot. And the performance on these is where they really shine. So battery life on these is supposed to be about 14,000 hours on one set of batteries, which is kind of astounding. But in talking with Primary Arms at length, it just seems they're doing some nice kind of voodoo there with their circuitry, their LED circuitry and things like that make it so that you can run this thing just forever and ever and ever. They have super efficient LEDs. this little rubber guy, which is designed so that you can't lose your battery cap, also makes it so undoing the battery cap is kind of a pain in the butt. So you run it off of one of these guys. So 1/3 N battery pack. Pretty easy. They're not the easiest things to find, but they do certainly exist. They're out there, but with it running approximately 14,000 hours between battery changes, probably aren't going to need to change it too often. So I'll go ahead, I'll get that thrown back on. But what we're going to do in the future with this thing, we're going to run this on a couple of different guns. We're going to run it on some of my real firearms, especially some of my very high recoil firearms, including Trogdor, the fire-breathing Mosin, my AR-15 on a cantilever mount, because this very low profile mount is too low profile for that. And we're going to run it on some airsoft guns too, with a Lexan shield, just to protect it from BB strikes. That's kind of the biggest risk with these things, is it's still a $130 optic. It's more than some people's guns. Obviously, are you going to throw this thing on like a JG? Probably not. You're probably going to be running this on a higher end replica. But it's still a $130 optic, so you are going to want to protect it as best as possible. So we'll talk about some options for that in an upcoming video. But yeah, this is just kind of an introduction. Just wanted to go over some of the features with you guys, and kind of talk about how it works and so on and so forth. So many thanks to Primary Arms for sending this over for us to test out, and we're looking forward to testing out more of their optics in the future. Stay tuned for much, much more on this optic.